Hey everyone. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while now because I've had a lot of people on Facebook asking me questions about the bubble removal machines. This is the Resiners Airless Pro, and this is the Let's Resin Air Zero bubble mover. And I'll tell you a little bit of the differences, and then we'll mix some resin and you'll see the results. I'll be running the machine side by side so you'll see which works better, if either. So they both work the same way. They both, I guess, use suction and pull the bubbles out. And when working with molds, you have to get all the bubbles out. We don't live anywhere near the road, and I can hear the traffic from, can you hear the horns? Anyway, I'll try to talk loud. So, the differences are they both have chambers that are about the same size. When it's done removing the bubbles, it releases the pressure on its own on the Let's Resin one, and you just simply lift the top. This also has a silicone mat on the bottom. And this one, before you even start the machine, you need to put the plug in the back. And then when it's done releasing the bubbles and the machine shuts off, you have to remove the plug. So this top simply lifts off. This top, it needs a little extra help. You really have to put something like that just to give it a start so you can lift it up with one hand. Otherwise, if you don't and you try to lift, well, normally after it's done and you try to lift it up, it'll pick the bottom up too, and you risk tipping the resin over. So this doesn't have anything in the bottom. I usually put like a wet wipe in the bottom. You could put something silicone in the bottom. I've even seen people put like a silicone round dish in the bottom in case the resin is to bubble over, because that's one of the things when you add anything to resin, colorants, glitter, glue, you run the risk of it bubbling over because for some reason it just creates more bubbles. So you really, instead of, with just resin in it, you could probably do it about 3/4 full, but if you put any kind of a colorant, you really probably need to put it less than a half full. You need to split your cups up. So as far as how much they can hold, so the difference between this and this, so I want to show you that you can put the red cup in there easily. It doesn't touch the top, but if you go to do it with this one here, whoops, I just started it. It really almost touches the top. Let's see if you can see, it's really way up there. And I've had it so that, I think you can see, I got resin, it must have bubbled up and it got on the top from it. So this just barely clears the top of it, this cup. So to show you how much they each hold, I'll use these cups here. So let's see if we can fit a big one, a little one. So this really keeps it from falling over. I guess I could put, let's do 3 of those. And let's see if we can do that. So this you might be able to fit a little more. I guess you could fit this in it too, but it's just too tall. So probably they both are about the same capacity. They hold the same amount. I don't know if you could put 4 in there. I guess you could put 4 in there, couldn't you? Look at that. Let's see if you could do it with this. So yeah, they could both hold 4. So they really they are the same capacity. So the main difference is after it shuts down, you just lift this. With this, you have to pull the plug in the back and use a little tool to release the pressure, otherwise the whole thing picks up. So that's that. I'm trying to think what else is the difference between the two, the cost. So this is probably about $30 more. And we're gonna mix up some resin, and I'm gonna do let's say we'll do 2 ounces, 2 ounces, and then we'll have a control. We'll do 2 ounces and just let it sit there for that amount of time, because who knows, the bubbles might just dissipate on their own. So, so let's do that now. So we're gonna mix up about 6 ounces. And the reason I'm doing this outside is because you know, when I always do voiceovers, and the reason I do voiceovers is because I always have a respirator on. And all of the resins I use are VOC free, but when they're separate, but when you put the two together, once you mix them and the chemical reaction occurs, there are additives to the resin, and those degas and are released during the curing process, and it's those fumes that you really need to wear a respirator for. So anyway, this is Bond Crafter resin. This is actually my favorite resin for casting resin, is the Bond Crafter. It's crystal clear. It's fairly inexpensive. You can pour it pretty deep. And I'm not doing. I am not. They do not have affiliate accounts, so I'm not. They're not paying me to talk about it. But anyway, that's the Bond Crafter. So I'm going to mix up probably a little bit over 6 ounces, so that I make sure I have 2 ounces in each. And I'm going to do it all from the same container. That way it has the same amount of bubbles. So, you know, I haven't mixed one faster than the other and whatnot. And this is almost too small of a container to be mixing this in, but I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna try to do it slow so that I don't create too many bubbles, but we'll see. For those of you who don't mix your resin in a clear container, some of you use the silicone containers, and when looking at it from the side, it's really very difficult to see whether it's totally mixed. A lot of times, you look at it from the top and it looks clear, and then if you lift up on your spatula, looking at it from the side, you can see actually strands of unmixed resin. So it's really important to do it in a clear cup. And I'm just putting this in fast forward now. I'm not really mixing that fast. There's a lot of outside noise and interference. And this one here will be the control. There's a 2-ounce cup. Okay. All right. So there's the 3 cups. This has exactly 2 ounces. This is a little over 2 ounces. We'll keep that as the control. I'll set that aside. And then we'll put these 2 into the resin removal machine, and or the bubble removal machine. Let me show you what they look like from the top. So they all pretty much look the same as far as the amount of bubbles in them, because I mixed them all up at the same time. Okay, so this one we're setting over here. This is going in. So I'll tell you about how these work too before we start. So you turn it on by just pushing it, and the second time, the top number is going to be a negative number. It has to reach negative 99 to give it as much suction as it needs to remove the bubbles. The bottom number is the number of minutes it's running for. You simply turn this, and you can bring it up as high as 15 minutes. You can run it for 15 minutes. If it starts to bubble over, you just press. Oh, see, so it has not gone. So the negative 0, 0, it's staying at. Remember I said you had to push down on it to seal it sometimes. So now you can see it's starting to go up. If for some reason it starts to bubble over and you need to release the pressure, you just push it one time and it will go down and then immediately start going back up. If you need to shut it off to totally release the pressure, you just hold it down and it will shut off and release the pressure. So on twice to get it going. The top number is the negative number. It has to go to negative 99. The bottom number is the number of minutes that it's running for. To release the pressure, you push one time, it will go down and immediately go back up. To turn it off, you hold it in. So the controls for the Resiners is on the top. So the difference with this is you push it one time to turn it on. This is how many minutes it's running for. This is the negative number. If it's not going up, it means you don't have your plug-in in the back. So you have to put your plug-in in the back, and then it'll start going up. The Resiner, the Let's Resin, as well as the Resiners, can run for 15 minutes. That's the highest it'll go, 15 minutes. And you just press that each time it goes up another 5 minutes. So if this starts to bubble over, you need to remove the plug in the back and then plug it back in. And if you need to shut it off, you just push down like that. You just push down on the center button. Okay. So now we're gonna run them side by side. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit so that you can see them both at the same time. Okay. So for this one, Let's Resin, we just take the top off, set it in the center, put that in. For this one, let's see, I have to release the pressure. I have to take the plug out the back to get the top off. Set that down, put the plug in the back. Okay? I'm gonna run them both for 5 minutes and then we're gonna look at the results. So, press it twice, make sure it's pushed down. For this one, turn it on once, make sure the plug's in the back. So they will both, so the Resiners one will be like 15 seconds behind. And here I'm gonna show you, show it in less than 1 minute what it does in 5 minutes. And you can really see it bubbling up, the bubbles rising to the top. It almost seems as if it creates bubbles. A lot of people say, how come it creates bubbles? So it's really just pulling the bubbles up to the top. So like I said, this is in fast motion, and you will see the results. So this one is done and it's degassing on its own. It's releasing the pressure on its own, I should say. And you can see the numbers going down. It beeps, and when it hits 0, I'll be able to just lift the top off. This one, well, actually this one has beeped, and this one is done also, but to release the pressure, remember I said that I had to take the plug out of the back. Okay, so for the Let's Resin one, I just take the top off. Wow, that looks pretty good. And for the Resiners one, go like that. Okay, so let's turn it so that you can see, I'm hoping you can see the bubbles in it. So this is the one that we did nothing to. Can you see? I'm hoping you can see those teeny tiny bubbles in there. They're really hard to see. Let me come out into the light better. I'm hoping this is showing up on camera. Okay, and then this This is the Resiners. Wow, crystal clear. And then this is the Let's Resin. Well, there's still some little bubbles in it. So maybe we'll do another one where we make it really, really bubbly, or we use like a coating resin, which are really thick and difficult. So let's look at it from the top. I mean, this looks pretty good still, but there are some teeny tiny bubbles in it still. All right, so now I'm going to do, I just put all that resin together because I got to do something with it. And when I mixed it together, the one with the bubbles, it kind of created more bubbles. So let me take that out of there, and I'll find something to do with this in a minute. But I'm going to use the Bond Crafter tabletop, which is a much thicker resin. And normally you wouldn't put coating resin in a bubble removal, because coating resins are meant to be poured really thin, and because they're meant to be poured really thin, the bubbles dissipate real easy. Even though they're so thick and create more bubbles, the bubbles dissipate real easy. So I am going to do this about 3.5. And this Bond Crafter tabletop epoxy is a nice coating resin, especially for wood. So I'm just going to put this in fast forward. I'm just mixing it, and then I am going to divide it into 3 cups again, 2 ounces each. Enough. 2 ounces, 2 ounces. Quite a bit of bubbles. Let's show you. Less than 2 ounces. Let's see, 2, 2, 2. So these are a lot bubblier. Let's look at them from the top. They're all from the same stir. Okay. And I'm just doing the same thing with these that I did with the other ones, and I'm putting this in fast forward. I'm putting the one in the Let's Resin, the other one in the Resiners, and turning them both on for 5 minutes. And I'll let you watch it and fast forward for 5 minutes, and I need to take the other resin into the other room and do something with it, because I've got it pouring real deep in the cup, and it could fast cure, so I need to do something with it. So as you watch this, you'll notice that the Resiners one almost seems to get a little higher. You can almost see that it has a little stronger pull on it. So keep on watching. We'll watch both of them. And I know the camera view is not real clear, but you can see the one on the left is bubbling up a lot more than the one on the right. The one on the left, you can actually see the resin almost looks clearer, where there's so many tiny bubbles in the Let's Resin one that it looks very cloudy. But keep watching. They both have about 1 minute left. And like I said, the Let's Resin one, once it's done, it shuts off, and the pressure is released on its own. The Resiners, you have to pull the plug on the back to release the pressure. And you can see the one on the Let's Resin, the numbers going down. So it's starting to get dark now. I just ran and did the other. So this, when it's done, you can just lift it. And you can see after 5 minutes, it still has quite a few bubbles. This, I pulled the thing on the back. You gotta use your finger or something to get that out. Oh. And that actually, wow, that's crystal clear. And then this was the control. So let's look at them from the top. All right, that's the Let's Resin machine. That's the Resiners machine. That's the control. Oh, did it cause more bubbles? Let's look at it. Let's take it over by the, wow, this is almost bubble free without the bubble machine. Let's see. So that's the control. You can still see bubbles, but not bad. And again, you would just torch these out on a canvas or wood. But I'm just wanting to show you how the machines work. That's the Resiners. That one is crystal clear. And this is the Let's Resin. So that almost, I don't know. That probably just needs to go for another 5 minutes to get them out. But so the Resiners wins for this one. So here we go again. 1, 2, 3. So the control is better than the Let's Resin one. So that's kind of weird. But anyway. So anyway, I wanted to show you the differences. If there's a lot of bubbles or it's real thick, this probably needs to run longer. So probably the suction on this is better. Resiners does have one that's a step down, which I used to own, which I want to say ran similar to the Let's Resin one. You just had to run it longer. So, you know, you guys can come to your own conclusion. $30 or $40 more this would be. Well, I was looking on Amazon. Amazon, the Airless Pro is $149, and the Air Zero from Let's Resin is $103. So, and I think on the site for the Airless Pro right now, you can even get it cheaper. So I'll leave links to all of it. By the time this video comes out, the prices may change, whatnot, if you're interested or not. But a lot of people have asked, and so now I'll have a video to refer them to see what the differences are. As far as size and all that, they're pretty much the same. Their capacities, what they hold, they work a tiny bit different as far as, you know, the buttons and that, but they both remove bubbles. So I hope you guys learned something new. If you did and you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out our Facebook group, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.